the third bout of the season. Is this number 3? Is this number 1?
Number 3.
Anyways, welcome. The rain will get worse before it gets better. Ooh. So bear with us for a while.
It's okay. We can't hear what we're saying over the storm either. Inappropriate thing. See, you didn't hear it. It's okay. It's all bleeped. We've got a couple minutes left. You might just be watching and trying to hear us. That's okay. It'll pass in a moment.
Just a couple of quick house rules, if you can hear me. Just a reminder, there is no one under 18 sitting on the caution line. That is the splash zone. You will get a player in your lap. Children in your lap in the chair are just fine, but just do not sit directly on the caution line. Thank you.
You doing now? Ann Arbor or?
Yep. I'll do
Okay,
Ann Arbor. Also, you'll see Hanover Fist walking around with the Ask Me About Roller Derby sign all the way in the back, underneath the flag, waving their hand. Hey, Hannah. If you have any questions about roller derby, you can feel free to ask Hanover Fist, any of the roller derby skaters that are skating right now, or myself in 2D Tin Whistle. Oh, wait a minute. We didn't even introduce ourselves. Hi. My name is Michelle Obamia. This is my assistant, Remus. He's a nice dog. You can pet him. So you get to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm 2D Tin Whistle, and I'm supposed to be here. Announcing the roster of the world is the lovely Michelle Obamia.
All right, in our first game, we've got 45 seconds till the start, so I'm going to go ahead and announce the world. Skating for the world, we have number 007, Darken Phoenix, 108, Knox, 111, Violet Tendencies, 157, Kimmy Bang Bang, 16, Hit Squeak, 1975, Bruce Springsteen, 23, Scarlet Maven, your captain for tonight, 24, 52, Bambi, 252, Kill Switch, 27, Holland Oates, number 37, Calamitous Intent, 479, Monsoon, 507, Ada, 68, Flame On, 847, Ruthless Bader Ginsburg, 89, Darth Skater, 95, Nixter. And your bench staff for the world tonight is Smarty Plants, Sonnet Boom, and Sid Monster.
The world. One more time so we can hear it over the sound of the storm. They carolled from all corners. The world for everyone to see. And now, your Ann Arbor roller derby roster for this evening's first game. Number 10, George Sandin. Your captain, number 11, Bo Toxic. Number 16, D-Rive. Number 19, Nebula. Number 190, Death Valley. Number 213, Grim Phoenix. Number 27, Snow Mercy. Number 35, Warm Regards. Number 67, Starfire. Number 69, Sailor Psycho. Number 73, Bifrost. Number 76, Dark and Stormy. Number 80, A Lotta Lag. Number 86, Wilkie Coffins. And number 973, Drama Llama. Your bench staff is Raptor Slamlet wearing the A and Wolf Stone Crash. your Ann Arbor Roller Derby.
We also want to shout out our officials, both skating and non-skating, for the first game of this evening. Our skating officials this evening are Busta, Deeks, Ringmaster, Rob Anybody, Technical Difficulty, and Velma. Our NSOs are Annie Despanko, Boss Kitty, Beef, Big Tails, Box, Crush, Dom, Sawyer, Feline Assault, Geo Knitter, Pocket, and Seam Ripper.
We're gonna get flooded. Not really, but maybe over there. My goodness, it's coming down, but it's not gonna stop the game tonight. Oh, and here comes the sun. Doodle-dee-dee. Lining up, setting the tone, and getting all into position. Officials checking their spots. Skaters already on the track.
Good boy.
This is exciting.
I'm very excited. Just a reminder, you can walk past us just like a normal human being. No need to duck. Roller derby is a moving sport, so we'll see them eventually. So no need to run, no need to duck. It's cool, we'll see it. If we miss it, the crowd will go, ooh, ah, and we'll figure out something really cool happened. We're also gonna be trying something new. We're gonna be walking around, so if you see us, say hey, and also ask questions. Once again, this is the puppy POTUS next to me. He is a good dog. Oh,
we got a leak.
We got a little bit of water on the track, so we're gonna hold on for a second. But this is a good dog. You can pet him. He won't give you a kiss, but he'll give you lots of love. Thank you to our track team who was out there getting the water off the track. This is gonna be a very interesting game because when the humidity hits, polished concrete turns into a totally different track. Sometimes it could be slippery, sometimes it could be sticky. So whatever wheels our skaters have on, it's kind of like a choose-your-own-adventure game at this point.
This game is also sponsored by Novi DPT Physical Therapy. Over a decade, maybe 2 decades now in roller derby physical therapy, amongst plenty of other active athletic and all types of physical therapy. Many of us in the sport have seen Dr. Burns, and he's helped us with the great aches and pains that are associated with life, especially living a slightly hard one. But Dr. Burns is the best. Novi DPT, we are proud to be sponsored by the greatest physical therapist in the state, if not the world. And we are waiting for the drip to stop, because they won't let me stand there with a bucket.
So on this rain delay, I just want to remind you that our after party is going to be at Monty's Public House. That's at 3140 Packard Road, 1 mile east on Buhr Park. And also exciting news, Ann Arbor Roller Derby is having a crash course coming up. If you'd like to learn how to play roller derby or just get involved with our league as a non-skating official, please check out our tables inside the gate for more information. Our next crash course is coming up. No skating experience required. We'd love to have you join us. Also, shout out to our food vendor who is outside in the rain, but they are also incredible. Tacos El Mariachi Loco. The food truck is located, actually they were very nice and pulled up to the pool so you don't have to get so wet. Is this anybody's first roller derby game? Welcome. We're all family now. Hey.
It won't all make sense, but that's okay. We'll explain as well as we can. Just enjoy the fun.
If this is your first roller derby game, I cannot stress, please do not be afraid to ask somebody what is going on. We are
Like
always
that
more
person.
than happy to answer. Hanover Fist is walking around with that sign that says, ask me about roller derby. Do not be afraid to go up to them to ask them about roller derby.
If you are new and you're looking around for some helpful hand signals to learn what the officials are communicating, we'll start with the one we're looking for right now, which may or may not be something like this, let's wrap it up, or the really definitive hands in the sky at the front from our jam timer. There they are, 5 seconds. And off from Ann Arbor Roller Derby, Nebula from the World Monsoon, and out and lead. Monsoon pushed all the way back, but a penalty being called. Still stuck behind. Nebula still fighting, getting a little bit of a bump from George Sandin right outside. George drags them back. Still stuck, Nebula in the pack, breaking their way through the front. Almost a little bit of push. Stuck in the rear is still Monsoon, making a couple points happen though, as they do, and looks like they are out with how many up in the sky? 4 big points. Now out, but not lead. A star pass has occurred. George Sandin is now your jammer for Ann Arbor coming up. Quick call off from the world. Let's see if they got any points. 3 more points. Just before George Sandin was about to score points of themselves. 7-0, the world over Ann Arbor Roller Derby after the first jam. Scoring those points by first getting through to be able to score them and then passing your opponents by the hips. Every time you pass somebody, you get another point on the second time. And they're off again. Sailor Psycho from Ann Arbor Roller Derby against Hit Squeak, and it looks like Sailor Psycho is out and lead for Ann Arbor Roller Derby, as denoted by the big L in the sky being pointed at and awarded at the 2 whistles you just heard. Hit Squeak still working their way through the pack, finding their way to bump out, and look, like they did, being waved off by the no almost floss hand signal is they are not lead. And lead jammer calling it off. What is lead, you might ask? You have the ability to stop it all right now. It's a very advantageous position to have, because when you have the points, you stop it so that they don't score any before they can. You attain lead by being the first one out through the pack legally and passing people while in bounds.
Up on the jammer line for Ann Arbor, it is Death Valley. And for the world, it's 27, Holland Oates. Big tumble on the outside as Death Valley works their way through, trying to get around that pivot, but they are through and are out as your lead jammer for Ann Arbor. Holland Oates has the star cover off and is looking to pass the star to their pivot. But there's Death Valley coming up the outside, trying to get around Bambi, and picks up 4 points for Ann Arbor Roller Derby.
Grand slam.
Holland Oates is out with a star stash. They are eligible to score points. And now it's Death Valley up, trying to get a couple more points. We'll see if Ann Arbor chooses to run it. Big yell from Slamlet from the bench, tap to the hips means to call it off. Ann Arbor picking up an additional 3 points, bringing their total to 10. Currently, our score is Ann Arbor Roller Derby 10, the world 7. Up on the jammer line for Ann Arbor, that's number 86, Wilkie Coffins. And jamming for the world is, who is that? Monsoon.
Monsoon, second time up on the line, pushing their way through the back. Ann Arbor pushing towards the front, in the front backpack getting drugged back. Monsoon still stuck with that backpack at 3. Looks like Ann Arbor's out and lead. Monsoon still stuck, trying to get out to be eligible to score points themselves. Coffins coming up, giving a little pop fizz, getting bumped out by Ruthless. But waking their way around the outside, getting signal to the outside to call it. And let's see if any points were scored. None. Held to 0. That's how you want to do it. You get the lead, you get your points, you get out of there. Signal and calls from the bench will usually tell you when it's time if you're not sure. But that's what you want to do. Get out, lead, get control, get your points. Fin, rinse, repeat.
Up on the jammer line, number 19, that's Nebula jamming for Ann Arbor Roller Derby, and Hit Squeak jamming for the world. A big tight wall, looks like a lot of legs, and Grim are out there making Hit Squeak work for it. And then up at the front, who is that? Kill Switch working their way, trying to stop, but Nebula is your lead jammer. Hit Squeak is out, also eligible to score points. Nebula coming up, gonna try to get through and get a couple points for Ann Arbor. Ooh, beautiful spin move, calls it off.
Excellent call off.
Picking
Just
up
in time
2
to score
points
2.
for Ann Arbor roller derby, none for the world.
This is nice over here. It's breezy by the doorway.
We said what?
It's breezy by the doorway. This is
I know,
nice.
it's nice. So the rain was actually quite nice. It cooled things off a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't have the humid and everybody's hair starts to rise and we all walk out with afros at the end of the game. 69, Sailor
Psycho and Hall & Oates.
Sailor Psycho jamming for Ann Arbor.
Boom,
Big fall
baby.
around 157. Kimmy Bang Bang. Bambi at the front putting in work.
Kimmy Bang Bang.
Big
but out of
hit.
bounds. Oh, but it was a great shot.
Out of play call. If you're new to roller derby, yes, there are penalties you can get. A lot of people think roller derby is like in the 70s where they could throw elbows and do all kinds of crazy stuff. Unfortunately, we all have real jobs outside of roller derby and do not like to get hurt on a regular basis. You'll hear the whistle blow and see people exit the track, and they're gonna go sit over in the penalty box where they will serve a 30-second penalty. When you see them stand, that means there are 5 seconds left of their penalty before they're able to rejoin, and then they must come in legally behind the pack in order not to get sent back.
Kimmy Bang Bang with a power hit last jam, but a second one that sent them to the box. And the jam is off with Monsoon against Death Valley from Ann Arbor. Monsoon jamming often. Let's see how the endurance lasts. Meanwhile, Death Valley popping up through the back, slipping past the 2 that knocked them out and lead. Monsoon still stuck in the pack, trying to fight their way out. And here comes Death Valley. Opponents preparing, getting bumped out of bounds and taking out their own teammate, Jort Sandin. And out and all the way around. Let's see, 4 points up in the sky. Looks like a star pass being occurred. That's when you stop being the jammer and get to let your teammate have that fun. Note a new player, now Violent Tendencies, is your jammer for the world. Jam being called by Death Valley well before the world approaches the pack. But yes, if you are stuck with that star and you are the jammer, you can pass it to the specific teammate called the pivot, the one with the stripe. Keep an eye out for those. Technical difficulties, not your referee, but what we're having, and a cut. The track is being called, being waved back onto the track is your Ann Arbor jammer Coffins. Thought they were being called. It really was Hit Squeak from the world. As lead, though, Coffins scoring 4 points with the opposing jammer stuck in the penalty box. Not a great spot to be, but they'll be up and out soon. Coming up on the second scoring pass, Coffins, bop, ooh, right to the inside. A big from the outside pop from the pivot. Wasn't quite enough to hold them. Let's see how this third scoring pass plays out. They're stuck in the apex. Little bump, squeeze, up. Looks like Knox has kept them for a bit. And did they bump out? Did they come in? Buster calls the cut from the outside. Oh, boy. Meanwhile, over here, Hit Squeak from the world finally out of the penalty box on her own power jam now, squeaking around back to the apex where the pack's been stuck. Ann Arbor blockers holding them down again. Looks like quite the height differential. Boom! And a pop down. My goodness, warm regards with the power hit that time. Oh, scooping to the inside. Let's see if the pivot can. Oh, Bifrost almost gets the last hit off to get them out, but not quite. Now the roles reverse. More points from the world, but let's see Ann Arbor out of the penalty box now. Popped again. Knocked down to the outside. Bifrost caught it that time. Coffins all the way out with points. And the jam over by time of 2 minutes. Let's see how those totals tally up now. Looks like Ann Arbor scoring 12 points in that last jam. The world scoring 7, giving us a total now 38-14. Ann Arbor roller derby over the world. What a big jam. Looks like an official timeout is being called, as you'll notate by unofficial tapping their shoulders. Just to make sure everything's right, tight, and safe, let's thank our officials one more time. You are the best. We appreciate you and all you do to keep this sport going fair-ish and as safe as possible.
We also want to take a second to thank our EMTs that are sitting trackside. Thank you for volunteering your time. Roller derby is a full contact sport, and we do need people to help us patch us up when we do get hurt. We do apologize for the static. It is a technical difficulty, not the rep, but we are working it out. So please be patient.
Getting back on the track, the swirling whistle to let you know we're done with that timeout. 5 seconds up. They're off. On the track for Ann Arbor Roller Derby is Nebula. The world, Hall and Oates, both still stuck right at the beginning. Pop to the back is Nebula. Pushing up that rear wall of white blockers. That's insufferable. Still stuck. A little bit of help from Drama Llama makes it happen. Getting up to the front group now, but still stuck behind the pivot just in time for the world to score a lead. Oh my goodness. Bambi, your captain, is really holding off that offensive. Just a penalty, unfortunately, but coming around on their scoring pass. The world scoring a few points. Nebula still stuck. What a terrible wall of destruction to try to push through. Little bit of offensive help. Let's see if they can culminate and make it happen. Starfire comes through again, little bit of extra. And a quick star pass. That is now your jammer, Starfire, your former pivot, now holding and putting on that star helmet cover. Finally getting out and elbow to the score. Meanwhile, Hall and Oates back to score some more. Let's see how many they can get off before anything happens that makes them want to stop all the things. Big jump. Let's see if Starfire made it somewhere. It felt like they want to play it safe. Come back around all the way out of bounds to avoid the penalty. Starfire pushing through hard through the inside. Just going for sheer brute force strength. Let's see. And they did it. Oh, wow. That was impressive. Whoa. My goodness. That was quite a grueling jam to push through, and Starfire getting that last scoring pass off by, they're just going to push through turn 4, make their way and plow if they need to, making those extra last points happen. Sometimes if you have that last little bit of energy at the end of the jam, that can be all the difference. 42-22, Ann Arbor Roller Derby over the world at the moment, but that last jam was won by the world. Let's see what happens this time. Back on the jam line, Monsoon against Sailor Psycho, back again themselves, and out in lead, Sailor Psycho, as they adjust their wrist guard for safety.
I wonder.
Meanwhile, Monsoon might have faked a helmet swap, took the helmet cover off, but is now still getting pushed. And enough distraction to let Sailor swing around the outside so easily and effortlessly as it seems. Still stuck behind this giant wall of legs with a big pop in the end, and the last one still able to get some but not lead. Getting pulled back, Sailor Psycho getting instructed to call off the jam. Why are they going out of bounds and skating the wrong way? Well, it's to avoid a penalty you might see a big X in the sky for. They'll do one of these. That means that you have cut the track. You went out of bounds and went around somebody. You can't go out of bounds. If you're going to go past somebody, you have to do it in bounds. But if you're going to go back in bounds, you can stop and say, I'll go back around you. Back on the track, Death Valley against Hit Squeak. Ann Arbor And the world looks like they got a penalty being called. And out in lead, Death Valley Ann Arbor Roller Derby.
And that's a power jam for Ann Arbor Roller Derby.
In the penalty box. Is your mic on, Bamya?
No, it's fine.
I see you. I can hear you and I don't hear crackles. Okay. Out and scoring more points.
Well, cool, I'll take over. That's Death Valley out, and she's on a power jam for Ann Arbor Roller Derby. 4 easy points picked up. Ann Arbor is lined up, playing some offense. Big hit. Whistle blowing. Somebody's going to the box. That is the Ann Arbor pivot. Death Valley back out, picking up another 4 points. Ann Arbor lining up again to do some offense. Oh, defense, they say. Death Valley, you're on your own because Hit Squeak is out of the box and ready to score some points or get out. No pack is called. Waiting for a potential whistle blow, but nope. Death Valley has picked up another 4 points for Ann Arbor. 12 points so far, and still a minute left in this jam. Big hit by Dark and Stormy, taking Hit Squeak to the outside. Whistle was blown. Someone is going to the box. That's number 23, Scarlet Maven. Death Valley back around, ready to score some more points. The world is trying to get together to make sure that they can block her. Ooh, that sounds awful. With a touch to the hips. Death Valley calls off the jam. 16 points picked up. I think that's our highest scoring jam of this night so far.
That's a big one. 16-0.
Awesome job. You would never believe that this is Death Valley's rookie year. They just passed their skills assessment this spring. Their first bout, they picked up MVP Jammer at their away bout, and now they are killing it on the home track. Timeout called to the world.
This timeout brought to you by Schleppers Haulaway. Junk Removal Services. Joshua Donow reminds you, when you think of garbage, think of Joshua Donow and Schleppers Haulaway. Are you done with that? Take all of your unused, no longer needed items and let us find a new home for them to be loved by someone else. Schleppers Haulaway for all your junk removal and deep cleaning needs. Also, once again, DPT Physical Therapy, the greatest physical therapist to ever exist on the planet. Many will swear by, and I am one of these people. Dr. Burns has been helping and healing derby skaters for just about 20 years now. Travels to tournaments on his own dime just to be part of the fun. And we're still looking at getting new batteries to hopefully fix our terrible noise problems here. Maybe I'll talk over it now if I shut mine up. Again, apologies for the wonderful noises we're hearing. Whew.
Okay, let's try this out again. So, sorry about that. We're changing the batteries on the mic to see if things help. But you know, it happens. Whistle blows, and that is Wilkie Coffins is your lead jammer for Ann Arbor Roller Derby, but it looks like Holland Oates from the world, but also a Flint skater is out, and they are right behind them, ready to try to pick up some points. Big scream from the bench, and it looks like Coffins is able to pick up 2 points. Ooh. None for the world.
That was exciting. Sometimes out on your trail, you've only got a few seconds to score quick few ones because they're 15, 20 feet behind you. But if you pull off those two, sometimes those two are all that matters.
On the jam line, we have number 19. That is Nebula.
And it wasn't the batteries. Still here in the crack. We'll move on.
And Monsoon for the world. Monsoon making a great moving left and right. Doing some lateral movement. Fine. I gotta go around the back. Yep. Come on, big boy. Yeah, good boy.
Hello.
Did they turn ours on? Yep.
pushing them down into obliteration. Out, 4 more points, but a penalty being called on 252 kill switch. Out, not lead your former pivot. Violent Tendencies is now your jammer after the star pass. Coming up around, and a little bit of pop, and a bump around. It's Coffin's out, calling it quick before any opposing points can be scored, any of their own. Looks like a discussion from the officials on the inside. Will a penalty be called? Is there points happening? Official timeout. Nope. Yeah, time. Plenty of time to figure something out. Looks like a penalty may be going to the Ann Arbor previous jammer, Coffins. Let's see if there's a point tally. So no, there will not be any additional points, it looks like, as they committed the penalty before any points in that third scoring pass could occur. Starting in the box, Coffins from Ann Arbor. That means the world will begin unopposed on the track. Just the jammer of their choice. Meanwhile, they're also down pivot. Gotcha. Meanwhile, they're also down a blocker in the form of a pivot. Let's see how it all plays once the swirling whistle to make sure it's all right and tight gets blown. Everyone making sure all the I's are dotted, T's are crossed. And we're back to a little crinkle in the voice. How about that? I guess we're going to keep working on this, but we're going to be working from one microphone, and there's a dance party being coordinated by your captain, Bambi.
Three more points for the world, creeping and crawling back. Or that was for Ann Arbor. I lied. 1 for the world, 3 for Ann Arbor. So a slight gain in lead from Ann Arbor. If you know roller derby, you know that a 96-52 game is actually not that big of a gap. A few big exciting jams, and that can change everything.
We're going to see. Yeah, okay. We've got two mics again. We're back in business. That is Sailor Psycho, your lead jammer for Ann Arbor Roller Derby. Hit Squeak is out. Not your lead, but eligible to score points. Whew, that was a tough period for your announcers, but we are back in business. Sailor Psycho calling for an offensive play, swinging through, getting 2 points for Ann Arbor Roller Derby. None for the world. We've got 38 seconds left in this jam. There will be one more before halftime. Don't forget to visit our taco truck that's outside, and please tell me how delicious they are, because I'm deciding if I want dinner or not. Up on the jammer line, we have Death Valley next to Holland Oates from Flint, who's been killing it as a jammer tonight. Also, in her own right, killing it as well, since they had the highest scoring jam so far this evening. Death Valley gets around the world pretty easily and is your lead jammer for Ann Arbor Roller Derby. Holland Oates is still stuck behind a line of a lot of legs. Inco. Big hit to the inside by Ginsberg. And Holland Oates uses that opportunity to run across the apex to pick up non-lead jammer. Whistle is blowing. A lot of legs is going to the box. Whistle blows. That is the end of this jam. And it looks like also the end of this half. We will meet you all back here in 15 minutes. Right now, we are sitting at 102 Ann Arbor Roller Derby, 52 the world. Turn the mics off. Okay, if I turn mine off.
Happy to apply and out and not lead. Holland Oates, but scoring over here, punching their way through. Ruthless Bader Ginsberg once again forcing the call off. Quite seasoned with the power blocks. That's number 847 from the world.
Can I have my, yeah. You giving it to me? No, dude. No, you cannot just be the best. 5 seconds up. And that is Hit Squeak jamming for the world and Coffins jamming for Ann Arbor. Coffins is up fighting against 111. That is violent tendencies. No pack is called. Coffins is out and is your lead jammer for Ann Arbor Roller Derby. Hit Squeak is still working on the outside. George Sandin with a big hit, drawing them back. No pack is called again. A whistle was blown. There is somebody that is going to the box, and that is your pivot from Ann Arbor, number 67, Starfire. Ann Arbor getting together to play some quick offense for Coffins, who beautifully runs up the outside, picking up an additional 4 points for Ann Arbor Roller Derby, bringing their total to 120. You want some? You want some? Okay. No, you're fine. No, he's like looking at it. He's like, was that Mommy? It smells good. Got it. I will not eat that. Oh, yeah. Look at us go. Perfect. All right, and back up on the jammer line, it is number 19. That is Nebula and Monsoon. We didn't get to talk about it too much in the second half of the first half, but Monsoon was absolutely eating it up out there, absolutely killing it as a jammer. Monsoon is pushing, but Nebula scoops through on the inside and picks up a lead jammer for Ann Arbor. Monsoon is trying to get some offense from Bambi and Kitty Bang Bang. But that is number 35, Warm Regards, all over them. But a beautiful star pass to Violent Tendencies, and they are out for the world. Scream from the bench tells Nebula to call it off, but not before picking up an additional 4 points for Ann Arbor Roller Derby. 24 minutes and 30 seconds left in this half.
Coming back on the line, your seasoned jammer of the game thus far, Sailor Moon. And I can't see from the other. Oh, of course, Hall & Oates, the two rivals thus far this game, and they're off. Pushing to the outside, and bout and lead, Sailor Psycho from Ann Arbor Roller Derby. Hall & Oates still stuck in the pack, trying to fight their way through, but meanwhile coming around as the pack stuck on turn one. Little push, pushing some blockers out, but getting bumped out themselves by Bader Ginsburg. Stuck in the pack, looks like we might have lost a star cover, and retrieved. Out, not lead. Hall & Oates going to get some points of their own. Getting pointed still by his lead, though. Ann Arbor being calling off the jam. 4 big points in the air for Ann Arbor. Sometimes it falls off, and you're the only one that can grab it, I think. I don't remember the rules. I haven't officiated in 6 years. Maybe I'll read the rules again. Maybe I'll just have people tell me I'm wrong. On the track now, looks like Squeak and Valley. And they're off. 128 Ann Arbor, 57 the world, out and lead. Death Valley. Hit Squeak out in the back. Trying again from the outside. Pop and squeeze in between. Meanwhile, Valley pops through, a little bit of offensive help from George Sandin. And around for another 4 points in the sky. Penalty being called. Let's see who's losing a blocker. Looks like it's Ann Arbor. They're going to be at the disadvantage now. Another penalty being called. That's 2 Ann Arbor blockers in the box. Maybe the world will be able to capitalize on this ability to have more blockers than the other. Didn't help in that, though. Valley buzzes right past. And unfortunately, your new jammer Violet tendencies being stuck behind by Frost. And George getting stuck, popped out, scoring a little bit more. Death Valley up on 16-0 right now. Let's see Violet tendencies, how they're going to make it through. George just making it miserable, knocking out again, going all the way through. One more time, another 4. Ruthless jam, 148. Ann Arbor, 20 points in that jam to 59, the world.
Also want to say thank you to our photographers. We've got Andrew Potter, who's in the middle. Hey, Andrew. Andrew Potter has been a celebrated photographer of Ann Arbor Roller Derby for as long as we have been around. Andrew Potter took our first headshots ever, and I believe does so almost every year still. Coffins is your lead jammer for Ann Arbor, and is Monsoon jamming. It looks like the star is off their head, and they have passed it to Bambi, who has been absolutely eating up these jammers. So it's interesting to see. She hands it back to Monsoon, who's like, nah, dog, you gotta do this. I'm not doing that. And so Monsoon is back on her own, trying to get around Warm Regards, Derive, and Bo Toxic, as well as Dark and Stormy. Monsoon sneaks through. They are not your lead jammer, but Coffins will call it. Not before picking up an additional 4 points. It looks like that is 8 points picked up in that jam. Our score now is 156-59. 5 seconds is up, and the whistle blows, and our jammers will take off. Nebula making quick work of her own blockers, but it is Holland Oates who is your lead jammer for the world. Holland Oates has been beautiful in this jammer rotation. There's a direction of gameplay called on a lot of legs who is going to the box. Holland Oates is picking up Another 4 points for the world. Another direction of gameplay being called. For those of you who do not know, you cannot hit somebody going in the opposite direction. It's hard to do because you really, really want to hit them, but you cannot because it is unsafe. No pack is called, hands on the hips, 1 point picked up by Holland Oates, and 3 points snuck in by Nebula at the end of that jam.
Up on the line, Sailor Swoon again, and looks like Squeak on the other side. Yup, number 1 sick hit Squeak. And official timeout being called. If I was jamming against these powerhouse blockers, I wouldn't mind an extra few seconds to catch my voice.
This timeout is brought to you by Novi DPT. Want to know the secret behind our strength on the track? Novi DPT Physical Therapy. Their personalized care and focus on injury prevention keeps us rolling strong in Ann Arbor Roller Derby. Shout out to the amazing team for being our go-to support system. Just a reminder, there will be an after party immediately after the second game at Monty's Public House on 3140 Packard Road. That's 1 mile east of Buhr Park. And also special thanks to our vendors, Tacos El Mariachi Loco, for serving up some delicious food.
Off and out, and lead is Hit Squeak from the world. Right behind Sailor Swoon, Sailor Psycho, sorry, trying to catch up, make up the difference. Let's see whose points can happen. Bump to the outside. Hit Squeak comes back in behind her white opponents. Pushing to the front, number 6'9", Sailor Psycho out with points. Hit Squeak still stuck in the track. Looks like they're out. Points of their own. 4 in the sky. Jam being called. 4 points. And no points. Oh, and 4 points for the world. 4 points and 4 points. That's what I was waiting to see. I thought it was. 163-69, neck and neck, jammer against jammer. Now is when it all starts happening. Blockers can smash for 45 minutes. Let's see who's got it in that last quarter. Up on the line, Death Valley against Monsoon. Monsoon pushing from the inside, making her own bump. But out in lead is Ann Arbor's own Death Valley. Number 190, but out and able to score points. Monsoon for the world. Only a half a lap behind. Calling out the play. Death Valley makes the pop, the fizz, the right through, but Bambi ruins all that fun. The active, destructive, defensive captain and pivot from the world. Still getting through for some points. Call being called on an Ann Arbor blocker, making it a little bit of a disadvantage, out with points. Monsoon, lots of skaters down, big spill in the middle. Let's see how it all shakes out. Everybody getting up onto their feet. Always glad to see that. We like to play and hit hard, but it's better when everyone stays safe. 4 points to 1 point. Ann Arbor over the world in that jam. Almost a century deficit between the two, but the last quarter could be anyone's.
5 seconds is called, and that's Coffins jamming for Ann Arbor. And then once again, it is Holland Oates for the world, and they are, just kidding, big call, and that is a cut track for Holland Oates. That means that Coffins is your only jammer on the track. If they're able to get through, they will be on a power jam for Ann Arbor Roller Derby. Big hit by Kill Switch to the inside, takes them both down. Quick recovery. Ann Arbor playing some beautiful offense on the inside line, but that is Ruthless Bader Ginsburg slowing them down, and Coffins is your lead jammer for Ann Arbor. Ruth giving the, come on up here, let's get together. Let's form a wall, the world, we got this. Coffins is calling for some offense, and Holland Oates tries to sneak by in the inside, but that is Starfire with a beautiful block. But Ruth once again playing some beautiful offense on the outside. A little bit of a mix-up, and there they go. Ooh. Cut track called on Coffins, unfortunately, on this little hop. And now we have a power jam for the world. Holland Oates is beautifully getting through, taking full advantage, no hesitation. Kill switch is going to the box. Oh my gosh. Once again, beautiful offense being played by the world as Holland Oates gets through again, picking up another 4 points. This jam will go for the full 2 minutes. Once again, the world is playing some beautiful offense. With 10 seconds left, Coffins returns to the pack, speeding through, picking up easy 4 points for Ann Arbor in the last few seconds of the jam. Beautiful job by both jammers, taking advantage of maybe the blockers looking in a different direction. 8 points picked up by Ann Arbor, 12 by the world, bringing your total to 175 Ann Arbor roller derby, and 82 the world. That's Hit Squeak jamming for the world, and that's Nebula for Ann Arbor. Hit Squeak with a big throw to the outside by 9-7-3. That is Drama Llama. And a beautiful spin, and Nebula is your lead jammer for Ann Arbor. Looks like there is going to be a power jam for Ann Arbor and Nebula. Ann Arbor blockers are getting ready to play some beautiful offense. The world is getting together, trying to pick up the pace a little bit. George Sandin playing some beautiful offense. However, it is going to send them to the box. Nebula flying around the track, taking full advantage of this time where they are the only jammer on the track. Big hit to the inside. Who is that? I can't see their numbers, but that skater had a beautiful hit, taking them out, but Nebula sneaks around them again. That was 23, Scarlet Maven. Hit Squeak flying up, but oh, a big hit from Dark and Stormy. Sends him down, but Hit Squeak recovers very quickly and is back up. Not your lead jammer, but is now eligible to score points. Bit of a pile up, screaming from the bench as Nebula calls it off, picking up an additional 2 points. Oh no, that's 2 points picked up by Hit Squeak. Little confirmation, and 1 point picked up by Nebula for Ann Arbor. 12 minutes and 15 seconds left in this half.
I like this microphone too. It's the Bob Barker special. Spay or neuter your cat or dog. Adjusting the clock and thanking the skies and heavens for roller derby, pointing up to the sky, touching on the shoulders, showing those big, strong guns. Geo Knitter, the strongest jam timer in the state. Let's see those power lifting. I'm going to make sure we don't play roller derby for a moment hand signals out of all of our great officials. We'd like to take this official timeout to thank DPT Physical Therapy and Schleppers Holloway. 184 to 84, a century difference. About to be off. Slightly stuck in the back is Monsoon. Push a little bit towards the front is Sailor Psycho. Find the way through and out in the lead. Sailor Psycho. Monsoon still stuck behind the rear wall of legs. And maybe making their way through the front. A little bit of pass. We've got Bambi the pivot receiving the star pass. Now your jammer making their way around. 4 more in the sky for Sailor Psycho. Making the call off before Bambi can score any points. Smartly played.
Gonna be, I believe, 4 points, but we'll see how it goes. Yep, 4 points for Ann Arbor, making it 188 to 84. Stepping up to the track. The jammers you've seen quite a bit before. It's Hall & Oates and Death Valley for Ann Arbor. Full roster, including some heavy hitters of blockers. Let's see how that plays out. Ruthless Bader Ginsburg pushing off for some O in the beginning, but out in lead, Death Valley from Ann Arbor. Dark and Stormy pushing up through, making their way. Pop, pop, almost to the way. A little bit of step out, has to go all the way back around. Meanwhile, 4 points. Ann Arbor bumping up to 192. A quick offensive pop from number 847 Ginsburg. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Splitting through the middle of the atom. Who wanted that to happen? Oh, a little bit of a call from Powerhouse. High block. Sometimes you get aimed a little bit high. It happens. Out and again. Still pushing through. Unrelenting. Hall & Oates going to make their way. It looks like to the inside. Out, not lead. Able to score points now. Death Valley calls their play. Swoops by on the inside. Well executed by their blockers. Who's scoring points now, though? The world. Hall & Oates popping their way through. Got George, the last blocker, leaning up against him, popping him out. Got to go all the way back around. Warm regards. No fun to have to run into themselves. And Starfire always going to chase you. Rule Ginsburg with another smasher. Dropping it down. Holding together. 23. Scarlet Maven holding the team's wall in position and smashing their way around themselves. Oh, almost out. Still being held. Dark and Stormy, not letting it happen. Death Valley, meanwhile, coming up, grabbing some points of their own. Are they out? Are they in? Slightly out and not lead, but with 4 in the eye. Ginsburg, meanwhile, pulls Valley all the way back, being called to call it off. My goodness. Getting to this point in the game, watching the endurance really grind and push. The blockers really start to smash. What do you think, Bamia?
Now, wait a minute. That was the highest scoring jam of this game. 26 points for Death Valley. Let's hear it. Holy cow. Whistle blows, and that is hit squeak. And it looks like Nebula out for Ann Arbor. Tight pack as they pass the pivot line. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not Nebula. That is Coffins for Ann Arbor. Whistle is blowing. Oh. High block penalty going to Coffins, who is going to go to the penalty box. There is a power jam for the world. This jam will go for the full 2 minutes as Hit Squeak took off that helmet cover before they were able to get lead jammer. So no matter what, this jam will go for the full 2 minutes. The world is setting up for some offense as Ann Arbor gets ready to play defense. Beautiful line and beautiful awareness by Ann Arbor as Bifrost and Bo Toxic deliver a hit and then get back together. Number 27, Snow Mercy, all over that inside line. And Drama Llama following up to put some beautiful hits. Violet Tendencies smacking Bifrost back so that way they don't have a drawback. Also drawing a cut from them, so that means that Coffins is down a pivot. Coffins is not your lead jammer, but is through to score points now. Remember, this will go the full 2 minutes. Violet Tendencies doing incredible work, just nailing Ann Arbor blockers and the jammer. No pack is called, meaning Coffins is through to pick up 4 points. The helmet cover is off and Hit Squeak passes to somebody, and there's yelling from the bench. Out of play is being called. And there's an incomplete star pass being called because that blocker that took it is actually not the pivot. The only person that can accept the star from the jammer is the pivot, the skater with the stripe on the helmet. And Violent Tendencies is usually a pivot for the world and must have gotten confused and took it anyway. Oop. You're good, buddy. Oop, watch your tail, sweetheart. Official timeout being called. 6 minutes left in this game, and woo, that was quite a jam. A lot of whistles, a lot of confusion. Tootie is waiting for the scoop. While we wait for the scoop, this is just a reminder that we do Remus, come here. Hey, where you going? Sit. Sorry, had to be a dog mom. Just a reminder that Crash Course is coming up, so if you're in the Ann Arbor area and you're thinking, wow, roller derby is awesome, I need to be a part of that in some kind of way, cool. Go check out the merch booth and get more information on how to sign up. But maybe you're thinking, maybe I don't want to get hit. Awesome. Roller derby always needs referees. Maybe I don't want to skate. Wonderful. We can always use NSOs. Those are those wonderful people that are in the pink shirts that are in the middle at the scoreboard, and they're also behind the penalty box as well. We always, always, always love volunteers, and even if you don't have no idea what you're doing, no worries, we will teach you. Please go to the merch table to go check out some information on Crash Course so that maybe you too can be a part of Ann Arbor Roller Derby. If you are not from the Ann Arbor area, I promise you that roller derby is the best kept secret in the world. If you Google roller derby near me, you will find that there is roller derby quite literally probably within 20 to 30 minutes from you. Just from Ann Arbor, there is Detroit Roller Derby, there is Quad County, there's Grand Rapids, there's Lansing, Kalamazoo, and so many more just in Michigan. And if you're out of state, cool, there's roller derby there too. Roller derby is also an international sport. Ann Arbor just got done skating in playoffs, which was an international playoffs. There's also teams that are in New Zealand and Australia, London, and all over. We even skated against a team from Colombia one time. And we're back 5 seconds in the air. That is Nebula and Hit Squeak skating. Hit Squeak attacks the back of the pack, but that is Grim. A lot of legs with their anchor that are absolutely eating it up. Whistle was blown and somebody is going, but it is Nebula who is your lead jammer for Ann Arbor. That is a lot of legs going to the box for a multiplayer, I believe. Monsoon through with a beautiful star stash. Nebula back up from a tumble and pushing its Kimmy Bang Bang. Desperate calling from the bench. That goes ignored. Does get called off, but not before Monsoon picks up 2 points to Ann Arbor's 3 points in this jam.
$225 to 96, Ann Arbor versus the world. I thought that was Detroit. Oh, that was versus everybody. Lining up on the track, the seasoned jammers. Sailor, Hollow Notes. Who's gonna get through? Pop, Sailor out, coming back around the back. Everybody's stuck right at the jammer line. Nobody's making any progress. Just a grind of endurance, a battle of attrition at this point. Who really has the stamina to remain up and get out and lead? It's Ann Arbor, Sailor Psycho. Penalty being called. But out and not lead Hollow Notes from the world. Looks like a black blocker in the box. They're at the disadvantage. Sailor trying to get a couple points before Hollow Notes comes in for their own. Sliding into the back of the pack. Hollow Notes catching a couple hips across. Maybe they make a pass. Oh, looks like at least one, if not two right now. Fighting their way past Warm Regards. Let's see if they can make their way, and a little bit of push all the way for a little bit of help on the O. Ginsburg makes her way to the front, sliding through the middle of the pack, but who's there to catch him? The two worst. Bambi and Ginsburg, neither can make a serious dent in the momentum as Sailor makes their way all the way around once again. Hall & Oates pushing up against the monstrous legs, getting pushed back, making calls on the outside. My goodness, Nixter almost drug them back, but they gave up wisely. Said, don't have any more time for this. We got to stop the hemorrhaging. Meanwhile, officials discussing in turn 2 straightaway. Where are all the referees over by me? In position, outside pack refs scrambling, and they're off. Love it. Great officiating here. Who's out in lead? It's Death Valley. Ann Arbor Roller Derby. Stuck, getting drugged back. Hit squeak. George making it miserable. Helmet comer comes off. Maybe a pass. Yes, indeed. Right on to Kill Switch. The powerhouse defensive blocker and pivot. Now Jammer getting stuck on their own. Ruthless Ann Arbor blockers making it hard. Death Valley out and around. Penalty call being made. It looks like it's on the Ann Arbor Jammer. Death Valley to the penalty box. Kill Switch on a power jam, fighting to get their way out to score points. Dark and Stormy and Jorts making it miserable. Bifrost helping themselves. Drama Llama. Oh, what a ruthless, terrible line to have to break through. Former Jammer Hit Squeak now offensively helping out as much as they can. Holding the line and calling for the offense now. Ginsburg calls in Knox and Phoenix. Let's see what help they can assist with. Pushing through, Kill Switch almost all the way through, gets knocked out by Dark and Stormy. Returning all the way to the back. Coming back in, looking, trying to get their way through. Meanwhile, Death Valley out of the box, gets dropped by Ginsburg to the inside and drug all the way back. Kill Switch leaning and pushing, trying to fight their way into turn 4 out of the apex. Drug back again, Valley just making it ruthless every time. Ginsburg, but nice and easy through the inside while everyone was paying attention for the offense. Sometimes you gotta just go and help your jammer. They're all giving the O now, out through the inside. Kill Switch able to lead, but a big drop. My goodness. All strategery can change just that fast. Everybody on defense, everyone on offense, whatever's needed at the time. Strong leaders on the track in the pack, calling the plays. You can see them yell it. You can see with the hand signals. Keep watching. You never know when it's going to completely spin around.
5 seconds called, and it is Nebula and Monsoon on the track. Big, tight pack down their way. Whoops, big old tumble. And it is Monsoon out for your lead. Jammer. Someone is going to the box. Big push down, but Nebula has done a star stash. Not your lead jammer, but eligible to score points. And they are out. Monsoon calling it off. But not until Derive hits the ground. Our unofficial score right now is 240-103. Now, while the NSOs tally it up, please wait to approach the track until we hear that final rolling whistle. For those of you whose first Derby game this is, when we get a final rolling whistle signifying the end of the game, you may approach the orange line for some high fives. And there it is. Our final score of the game, Ann Arbor Roller Derby versus the World. Ann Arbor Roller Derby takes the win at 240, and the World tops it out at 103. Ann Arbor is taking their victory lap. And now it's time for the world to take their lap. Some really beautiful, amazing skaters and skating that we saw this evening. Absolutely incredible. It's amazing how much teamwork can translate, even though most of these skaters do not skate with the same league. Congratulations to the world as well. We'll see you back here shortly for our second game of the night, Ann Arbor versus the world, round 2. Remus, you gotta move, buddy.